What's up, peeps? Back with another episode of 5 Questions with Frank. And today I am at the place where I get fit, Ranfone Training Systems. And today I have with me Mike Ranfone. He's the owner of RTS. I've known Mike now for over 8 years, came here, and really excited to have you on, Mike.
Well, I appreciate you having me. I think it's been a little long for this to happen. I know we've tried to do this multiple times, but I'm very honored for you to have me on here.
You bet, you bet. You're going to bring a lot of information for the audience. So, little context for everyone. I used to go to a big box gym. I went to LA Fitness before I met Mike, and I used to work out just like a lot of other people do, trying to put the most weight up and do buys and tries and all these crazy things that you think are the right way to work out. Ended up blowing both my shoulders out, and I went to the internet, found Mike Ranfone through a program called ART, and came in here. Literally, Mike had my shoulders back to normal within about 4 or 5 sessions. I was able to do this once again, and I looked around the place and I was like, I need to be here. So got to know Mike. Now is a friend of mine, so really excited to have you on. So why don't you let us know a little bit about you, the person, who you are, what makes you tick?
Yeah, I think on from the 30,000 foot view, I'm pretty much a regular guy with maybe some people would say irregular behaviors. But I'm a dad, I'm a business owner, I'm a husband. I got 2 small kids at home. I have a brick and mortar gym location. I do consulting online. So I have my hands in a couple different things and a couple different pursuits. But by and large, I wake up, I put my father hat on, then my husband hat, then my business owner hat, and I just repeat.
You got it. So I'd like to quick before we get into too deep into the Q&A. So we're in Mike's location right here. It's massive. I don't know, there's probably about 16,000 square feet here. He's expanded since when I came here. He's expanded and taken over kind of this whole facility that we're in. But one thing I do want to touch on is many people tuning in haven't been able to go to a gym in 8, 10, 12 weeks because of coronavirus, because gyms got shut down and we couldn't be around each other. But that didn't stop you. Running a massive place like this, it's been empty for now almost 3 months. What did you do to keep the business flowing?
Well, I think the first thing that we have to establish as what we do here is that we don't just provide training. I think we're really in the education space as well as the guidance and coaching business. So for us to make a massive pivot and scale digitally and under these circumstances really played to our advantage. So what we did with our current clientele is we flipped it to an online model where they received online training guidance, but then we really honed in things that aren't necessarily part of our feature program, but we were able to scale into, such as nutrition, quality of life, accountability measures that were a little easier for us to transfer over Zoom calls and our online platforms, so that people didn't skip a beat and by and large did not put their health and their well-being, physical and mental well-being, on the back burner in the last couple months.
Good. All right. Yeah, I just felt like that was really important because of everything we've been through. So how did you get to where we are today, standing here in this facility? I know it's taken some time, and you mentioned you've got some kids, you're married, so just like a lot of us, kind of juggling a lot of things. So how did you get started, and how did you get to where we're at today?
Wow, where to begin? So I'll just start with my professional career. So I started at Yale University as the strength and conditioning coordinator 16, 17 years ago at this point. And I really thought I was going to be a career, either college strength and conditioning coach or make it to the professional ranks of NFL, MLB, so on and so forth. But I really felt handicapped with what I could actually provide at that time, my athletes. And I just wanted to do more. And if there's an underpinning of my thematic goal in my life is to be able to accomplish more, but provide more. So I went back to school, got my license in massage therapy, started my own consulting business, and then from there I was just starting to scale at a pretty rapid rate, and I had no idea what I was doing. So from the business side, I had no clue. From the tactical and technical side, I think I was really good, and I was able to circumvent some of the problems of not really knowing business with being just a good provider. So, but that at some point has to scale into a building, a staff, accounting and marketing and all these other core functions of every business that you don't know what you don't know about. So luckily I've always been one to talk to people who know more than me, pay them for their time and their willingness to share, and try to circumvent some of those mistakes that most people make by just learning from others.
True, true. We share that. I'm a huge believer in surrounding yourself with the right people. I think that you're not going to know everything, and being around people that can help offset that and really get you where you need to be, help you eliminate some of those mistakes.
Without a doubt.
So you've got this big facility here. You've got hundreds of clients that you have here that you've been able to maintain by flipping to online training and a lot of the things that you do. What is a piece of advice, and take someone like me. I'm a business owner. I got a staff, so a white collar guy, but a business guy who doesn't have a lot of time. I find time to get into the gym here. So what advice would you give to someone who is maybe saying, I don't have the time to get to the gym, or I can't commit, or I'm never going to be in that kind of shape, and those types of things, the whole manifestation of all the negative thoughts and excuses. What advice would you give to someone listening in that might be thinking that?
Yeah, so my clientele is, my personal clientele at this point is a lot of busy moms and dads, business owners, or high-level professionals that all have these same constraints that we seem to be talking about, time management, stress, family, so on and so forth. And my point of emphasis to them is always, well, if you're going to wear the hat of a caregiver, then the absolute best investment you can make is in yourself. Because if you want to provide care for longer or more depth of that care, then it starts and ends with you. So let's start talking about what you can do rather than what you think you are unable to do. And that really just comes back to maybe better goal setting. And I think that's really where people have a huge hiccup with, is that they set great goals, but they have shitty timelines, right? So they think, 4 months down the line, they've only lost 15 pounds. Well, if it takes you 6 months to get what you really want, would you be regretful that you still accomplished what you wanted? So I think what some of the things that we were able to do is just position what they want in the context of what they need a little bit better so they can achieve it and have a more realistic approach rather than going all in month one and then burning out month two. So it is about sustainability and longevity, and I think that's really what the accountability piece really offers, is so that people feel like they're on the right path, and when they deviate, they know where the path of success goes back to.
So again, I'd like to take somebody like me. I came here, I was working out for years and years at a big box gym, kind of thinking I knew what I was doing and listening to other people in the gym, and kind of following these routines where I ended up getting myself hurt. Anyway, was able to bounce back, but came here, kind of got aligned with the culture here, and knowing that the program was written for me, and it was like, what are my specific goals and how do we get there? And I mean, 8 years later, it's a constant evolution of, okay, we did this for the past 6 weeks, now we're going to try this, and we manipulate. It's always evolving, always challenging myself. So what do you think people are doing wrong in the fitness industry? If you look at it and you see, what if you could put your finger on something, you're like, I see this all the time. I think it's a misconception, something people are doing wrong, being fed wrong advice. Give us some insight there into your thoughts and how people can maybe get around that.
Yeah, I mean, I have plenty of thoughts, but I think the big one is just the cookie cutter approach. So, for example, like when we were going online a few months ago because of the COVID pandemic, people asked, legitimately asked, why shouldn't I just download this $9.99 app, and not go to the gym? And my retort was, well, you can scale training to a certain extent, but what you can't do is optimize the plan that you're on with some $9.99 app a month. There's no humanization, there's no optimization, and there's no real connection, which is what coaching is supposed to be about. So I think a lot of people, whether that's in person or online, just don't think of the personalization that could take place, so that their needs, their goals are congruent with the life they want to live. Because listen, I live in the gym, so I don't want to be here any more than I have to. I want to be home with my kids. I want to spend time with my wife and do other things. So if I'm constantly thinking oh, I got to count these macros and I got to work out 8 times a week, that's not an executable model for longevity. And do I care about your 6-week transformation? 100%. Do I care more about your 10-year, 20-year, 30-year transformation? Well, absolutely.
All right, and that's some great context there. So where we after going through all this, you've evolved your business model. I think there's a lot of fitness places out there all around the globe that did not evolve the way you did, that didn't unfortunately survive, and whether it was poor planning lack of execution, whatever it is. But where's the fitness industry going? In your opinion, I think you've proven that there is a need for online training. You've got clients all across the nation coming to you and not just looking for a program to work out, but all the things that go outside of that, nutrition and some of the other things. So where's the industry going? Where are we going to be in, 5-10 years from now?
Well, I think, especially in the wake of the pandemic, is that the future is now. And this was a trend that was occurring before, where people were expecting more online, on-demand, at their own convenience type of features. Mm-hmm. And you can look at other industries like, food and movies and everything converted to this streaming online thing that's at the touch of their fingertips. And that's great for movies and food. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's so great about like your own health and well-being. So part of that can be scaled or at least pivoted towards an online platform. But I think the biggest thing that like the fitness industry will not be able to figure out is how to scale massively the ability to coach someone through their personal endeavors and their personal constraints. So I think online is going to be more of a thing now, especially to insulate businesses like mine and big box gyms that have some kind of online component. But the big item I think is that you have to build connectivity with the people that you serve. And that's something that there's no prosthetic for, it will never be substituted for, because that's human interaction. And that will always trump an automated, systemized, computer algorithm, in my opinion, for what we do and the service that we provide at the level we want to.
Good, that's solid. And anyone who's seen my videos, especially my Fridays from the car, you see most of the time I do have a RTS, Monster, or some type of Ranfone shirt on. I really believe in what Mike does. I believe in this place here and the coaches that he has. So it's been an honor to really have you on. And for everyone tuning in, they want to learn more. They need a coach, and they're ready to make a change in their life. How do they reach you? Where are they finding Mike?
Well, I'm on pretty much all the major social media platforms. I'm most prevalent on like Instagram, Facebook at Michael Ranfone. I'm on LinkedIn. You can go to my website, michaelranfone.com. So there's nothing new there, but I'm very responsive to DMs. I get a ton of inquiries about anything from supplementation to training for a 5K to bench pressing 400 pounds. And I honestly try to respond to everyone that comes by way of a DM. So if you're interested or want to talk, please feel free to reach out to me.
All right, and then before we wrap up, any last minute tidbits, advice, something you want to leave the audience with, any gem from Mike?
Yeah, I think we've had a lot of times of reflection over the last couple months, and one of the things as we face opening back up, I asked my membership about things that have changed. And were the changes that were created during the last 3 months moving you closer or moving you farther away from the goals that you want to realize? So I think now at this next pivot point, what's the next excuse if you've fallen off your goals? And that's something I do myself. I never try to be preachy, but something that depends on auditing yourself and appraising where you are in context of your goals is such an underappreciated exercise for own personal well-being. And again, if you're a caregiver, the best investment you can make is in yourself, because everyone else is going to benefit from that investment as well. So at this point, let's think about moving forward, and hopefully we can be assertive and aggressive with getting to where we want to be.
You got it. Well, you guys know it here. Hit Mike up on LinkedIn, Michael Ranfone, Instagram, Facebook, Michael Ranfone, or visit his website, www.michaelranfone.com. Thanks for being on, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.